Welcome back everybody to Rimworld, and this series is going to go back to the more traditional Rimworld format. We unfortunately had to cancel the multiplayer series just simply because it's not really ready yet. There's a lot of these things going on, not much mod support, and we thought we would leave it until the future when it's a bit more stable, because we want to give it the best chance it has, because it's going to be pretty revolutionary. But we're going back, like I said, to the sort of classic, whatever this channel is called, style of Rimworld. How bad is that? I can't even remember it. So, what's the gimmick for this series then? Well, we're going to be playing through, and I'm sure that the thumbnail and the title's actually giving it away, we're going to be playing through the Star Wars Rimworld series mod pack created by Jekrel, I hope I'm saying that right, on the Steam Workshop, along with my own custom mod pack that I've built for this one as well. This is the biggest mod pack I've ever built to Rimworld to date. It's huge. And more to the point, it is very stable as well. I've spent a lot of time making sure the load order's right, getting things in the right places, copying other load orders from other collections that have been confirmed stable. So as you can see here, no errors whatsoever. We've got a couple of very, very minor Rimworld mod issues, but that's just conflicts between mods. This is a stable mod pack, and I'm looking forward to this because, as I said, it's huge. For those of you interested in just this particular mod pack, look at this, it's ridiculous. For those of you interested in this, I'm not going to go through it now, but at the end of the episode, I will go through the actual load order. I will also make a file available for you guys using the mod manager to just import and go for those who also want to play along with this mod pack. So the gimmick of this one is going to be setting up our own Star Wars Jedi or Sith faction. Let's be honest, it's probably going to be Sith. We haven't had many war crimes this time around, so I'm kind of liking the idea of maybe setting up our own little Sith academy. Sith were not above torture, not above war crimes, not above genetic manipulation. We're going to have all those good things from all those old series, you know, the cult as well, because the Sith are basically a cult, let's be honest. And we're going to incorporate it into one big series here, so this is going to hopefully hit every nail on the head. Let's get started, shall we? So for those of you who haven't seen this mod pack before, firstly, I mean, where have you been living? Because it's like one of the biggest Rimworld mod packs available, but the conceit of it is, the sort of idea behind it is that it adds the Force as a fully playable mechanic. Similar to Rim of Magic, but a little more balanced and a little more, a little less wide, and therefore I would say a little more well-designed because it's not quite so ambitious. It's not so wide-reaching, custom GUI, make your own Sith, make your own Jedi, however you feel like it. It also adds lightsabers, it adds various factions, such as the Imperial Stormtroopers, it adds the Rebels, it adds Mandalorians. There's also Star Wars races. Recently, another mod came out that fleshes that out a little bit more and adds a couple more Star Wars races, and I've also added a Star Wars animals mod. It's very Star Wars themed. So what are we going to do for this one? Well, I think we're going to play on the Rich Explorer part, perhaps a lone sort of, I don't necessarily want to build just a Sith temple, because I feel that's a bit boring, but I want to build like a dark side influenced, sort of piracy, maybe criminal syndicate, sort of similar to, spoilers here for Rogue One and Star Wars Rebels, I believe it is, sort of what Darth Maul did when he survived his confrontation with obviously Obi-Wan and then obviously the Emperor again, or Palpatine after that. He went on to build like a criminal syndicate with sort of dark side influences and made himself a very powerful character. That's sort of what I want to do. Not necessarily build a Sith Academy, but make one character, one very ambitious dark side character, the sort of super powerful guy. I'm sort of sensing a theme with a lot of these campaigns in hindsight. It's not exactly what we did last series. Anyway, what are we going to do to start off with here? We're going to go for Cassandra Medium on what is already quite a difficult start here. The Rich Explorer says extra difficult. I honestly wouldn't say it was, personally. We're going to play on Medium. And, of course, we're going to play Reload anytime because there could just be a generic mod crash. And, obviously, that wouldn't be good if we had to end the series because of a generic crash. So, I have a lot of mods here. And again, it's not just going to be Star Wars. The Star Wars is actually a very, very minor part of it. There's a lot of futuristic mods, a lot of world-affecting mods as well. Faction interaction, hospitality, we've got different world generation options. Seed, why don't we go for something Star Wars-y? Let's go for the Senate as our seed. We're going to do globe coverage of, I mean, 30% is fine. We don't want to get too ambitious with it. If we really want to get involved with the factions, the smaller world is going to be better because we're going to be more sort of hemmed in, I guess is the right word for it, a little more contained. I might go for 15%. Half the size of the standard globe coverage of Rimworld. We're going to be meeting factions. It's going to be more factions to keep track of. I think the world's just going to be a little more involved if it's a little smaller. World type, we obviously have different choices here. So ocean world, jungle planet. Kind of like the idea of a jungle or forest planet. That'd be kind of cool. There's obviously Earth-like as well for your standard sort of two poles and then equator in the middle. I might go for the jungle planet. That sounds fun. There's a lot of jungle planets in Star Wars, you know, like Felucia, Dagobah, that type of thing. So I figure that's not a bad plan. This is fine. Axial tilt, I assume, affects the seasons. Yes, it does. So with a low axial tilt, you basically get a constant temperature all the way around. With a high axial tilt, that's going to be more akin to your Game of Thrones world, right? With sort of like 5 years of summer and then 5 years of winter. We're going to keep that normal so we get the full sort of Rimworld experience. I'm looking forward to this. Very small. I actually cannot... Oh, what the fuck is going on there, huh? The planet's missing a trunk. It's actually wearing shades. Huh? It's like a deal with it planet. The Grey Pole Ocean. I like this. I like this smaller planet. I feel like we're going to get to know the factions a little bit more personally here. So we have the rebels setting up base in the rotting Abanquiero there. We've got the Imperials have taken up residence on the western side of the planet. And there's also, what is that, Galactic Empire there? What is this one? Oh, the Red Oasis Kinship is some sort of, like, Imperial settlement, I can only assume. We've got Blue Moon Corporation, so that's actually like an intergalactic trading corporation. We've got, I'm going to assume Mandalorian, some sort of pirates anyway, and obviously some native tribes there. We've got other sorts of pirates. Oh, these will be the Mandalorians. God knows what these are then. Must be another mod again. Where do we want to land? This is cool. I do like this smaller planet, because I feel like we're going to get a little more involved with the factions here. I'm honestly looking at somewhere like here to be starting off with, mainly because it's well connected. It's got good connections to all of these guys, which is probably not good unless we want to make friends with the Imperials. We are somewhat cut off from the Rebels. We would have to go all the way around the north there, but that's fine. I think we'll go with somewhere like, what about like here? Movement difficulty, small hill, stone road. Yep, that's fine. 60 days growing period. If we could get all round, that would be ideal, to be honest with you, so we're not having to worry too much about crop growing. Although saying that, with the type of world we got, we actually might not... No, actually 50 out of 60, to me, looks like probably the most we're going to get. That's fine. So we'll sort of go around here. Do I want to play in mountains? I do like playing mountains, but I want to stick to the road and the river somewhat. So how about, like, this one? Oh, you know what? This is kind of a nice place. There's no river there, though, and river is kind of important for, obviously, fishing, which we do have, power generation in the early game. We're going for this one. We've got small hills, so we've got some resources going around for us. 50 out of 60 days growing time, a lot of rainfall, too. It is, of course, tropical rainforest all over the planet, besides some, like, deep bogs as well, and a little bit of boreal forest. This is cool. And we can actually see our factions here. Oh, androids. That's cool. So that's what those ones were. Interesting, interesting. Interstellar Corporations, Pirate Bands, Galactic Empire, Rebel Alliance, a wretched hive of scum and villainy, Zabrak Empire. So the Zabraks, or Iridonians they're sometimes called, are Darth Maul species, I should say. Alright, let's go for it, team. Wow, what a Star Wars-y lineup already. Look at this. Holy shit, we've got Wookiees, Twi'leks, Rodians, and androids. Well, obviously, we're going to go prepare carefully here. And we're just going to play with one character, seeing as this is the one single explorer start. It's designed to be fairly difficult. We'll go with like 25. Chronological age, it doesn't really matter. Oh, it's an ancient Sith Lord that's awoken after 1,000, roughly 1,000 years of sleep, because I'm not going to get it precise. What are we going to call our dude? We need a Star Wars-y names. Star Wars-y names always have, like, a very hard-hitting syllable for the first name. Mace, you know, Obi, Quai. You know, weird single letters. Let's go for, Foe. And now I've got to think of the last, Foe Pamaran. That's a good one. No, let's think of a sort of original Star Wars-y name here. Foe is terrible. Let's go for something a bit more, traditional Star Wars, huh? That's a Star Wars-y name right there, huh? Krup Bigler. Oh, wait, we had Bonnet Bigley last time. I can't have Krup Bigler. Let's go for Voosh. Krup Voosh. That's, again, a very Star Wars-y name. Do you want to play as a Rodian? Absolutely not. How dare you? All right, child's backstory. Let's just go random until we get one that's incapable of none. He was a hydroponics engineer and then an orbital reservist. Maybe he found something out there doing these experiments in space. Maybe he had some sort of Umbrella Corp style exposure to superpowers, and now he's a force wielder. I really have no good backstory here. We're gonna go male. Can we change our race? How do we do that, though, my dude? Body type? Thin? Hulking? Heavyset? Average? No, this is not good. How do we change our actual race, though? Fully random? Oh, it's always a Twi'lek. Oh, sorry, always a Rodian. There we go, we'll start again. So I do have an additional character mod, and I've actually added a more detailed face mod as a result of that, because we can zoom in further. Maybe get to know our characters a little bit better. This is better. What was my dude's name? There we are, Krup Voosh. We're going to play as a human just because it's your sort of standard Rimworld experience, and then we'll recruit aliens to our cause. I'd like to meet them naturally through the game rather than obviously starting as them here. Traits. Now, do we have, like, Force Sensitive? Oh, we do. So we had, like, Force Sensitive or Force Apprentice here. So Force Sensitive are people that have the ability to learn the Force, and a Force Apprentice, I assume, is somebody who's already started to learn. Begun to control the Force, but requires further training and guidance. And then, of course, you can obviously pick, you know, there's like Grey Jedi, which is balanced, sort of like your Jolie Bindo character for those of you who play KOTOR. You have, I assume there's Sith as well, Sith Inquisitor, Sith Lord, Sith. This is cool. Then I imagine there's also Jedi, but I probably scrolled, yeah, Jedi right there as well. Hates humanity. Wow. Krup has a deep hatred towards all of humanity, seeing them as nothing more than egotistical meatbags. That could be a cool backstory. Very edgy. Probably likes My Chemical Romance. We're going to go for Force Sensitive, and maybe Force Apprentice. Maybe he's taught himself to some extent, but needs a little bit more of a push, you know, to really get to grips with his power, his newly found power. That's kind of cool. What are the traits we want him to have? Well, maybe a little more generic Rimworld stuff. Well, great question. Maybe like a body purist. That'd be interesting. He's all about the sort of natural force. Maybe doesn't want to... well, let's not rule anything out. I think a cyborg Sith Lord is kind of par for the course. Not that I'm saying that we'll be a Sith Lord, but, you know, if you've ever watched any of the other series, I think we know which way it's probably going to lean. Kind, lazy, loves humanity, masochist, mech. A mechanized infantry unit. Oh, man, that seems like a terrible idea. We can make him purely mechanical. Quick sleeper. What about, like, psychically hypersensitive? Seems like it might be a bad idea. I thought it might have some effect on the Force. Steadfast. Oh, you know what? I might go with super immune. Just simply because we are playing in the jungle. We could always go, like, steadfast. Maybe go for, like, Iron Will, just because we've only got one dude here. That might be a better idea. Yeah, let's go for something like that, then. We'll go for, like, a Sanguine or some sort of permanent mood boost, just to make sure that we're not immediately going to get a mental break, or if he goes catatonic or something, obviously it'll be a game over. I'd rather not do that. Health. Well, let's take a look at what bionics we can actually give him. So we've got a lot of choice here, like a huge amount of choice. Exoskeleton suit sounds kind of cool. I think that might be one I go for. Or maybe just like a single tactical cornea implant. Also kind of interesting. I like the idea of having the exoskeleton suit, because he was an inventor, wasn't he? So let's pretend he invented that for himself. That's his new backstory, by the way, Inventor. He's got a lot of crafting. I'm not a big fan of that, because obviously you don't want your first character... You want your first character to be good at, like, plants, perhaps, is not a bad one. Alright, so let's get rid of some crafting here. Let's knock that on the head. Excuse me, I'd like to get rid of that, thank you. It's already got good plants. I'm going to leave that one in... I'm going to leave him with a single passion implant. Go with a little bit of construction as well. I'm not going to probably go too OP with this character, because I kind of want to maintain the challenge of the lone explorer. We also probably want quite high social for our first two. That's the one skill that I'm going to go a little more balls to the wall with. And a little bit of cooking, just enough so he doesn't get food poisoning constantly. I think that's fine. Oh, no shooting and no melee. He's an inventor. I'm going to say he's good with his hands. No shooting, though. He's bad with shooting. So, I think that's cool. I think he's an interesting character. I think we might struggle towards the start, but, you know, it's going to be different nonetheless. Gulliver? I have no idea what that is. We're going to stick with it, my dudes. Alright, charge rifle is gone. We need ourselves a melee weapon of some description. Now, of course, this Star Wars mod does add, there you go, lots of Star Wars-y based weapons. Vibro Staff would be kind of interesting. So, in Star Wars, they don't really have swords, but they have something called Vibro Blades, which are essentially swords that vibrate incredibly quickly so that they cut through things a lot more smoothly. I love that a Vibro Staff costs less points than an 80-80 main blaster cannon. That's ridiculous. Maybe we should get something a little less powerful in that case, because maybe those Vibro Staffs are a little bit OP. Man, some of these are cool, huh? Look at these. Golden Achani Vibro Sword. We don't necessarily want one... like a plasteel weapon seems appropriate, because plasteel is a sort of... an existing alloy in the Star Wars world, you know? So we go for like a plasteel, what do we think, like a Vibro Scythe, a Vibro Axe, a Vibro Double Blade. That sounds cool. A lot of points, though. How many points are we over by? 1,187. That's actually not too bad. So this does include a sort of points limit if you want to play to that to make it a bit more fair. We're not too far over it, so I think that'd be fun. Alright, I'm happy with that. Silver, gold, package, survival meal. Obviously, if we can't find advanced components or anything like that during the early game, we might be a little bit screwed. Or plasteel to obviously make the multi-analyzer. That's fine. I think this is going to be kind of cool. I think it's going to be interesting. I think towards the beginning here, it's going to be very, very difficult. Because this is a hard start. It's one of the hardest starts in Rimworld. Obviously, we've given ourselves a little bit of a buff with the sort of sanguine. Obviously, the custom character overall is just a little bit of a buff. Defensive positions. So, we will see a lot of the mods as we play through here. I don't want to sort of go through them all. This is kind of a nice map. War. Rebel Alliance is at war with the Galactic Empire. That's kind of cool, I'd say. Oh, that's a weird little feature, huh? Sort of shows where your pawns are on the map a little easier from distance. Cristobal seems to be some sort of armored cow? N.Solution, what is it? I have no idea what you are. It's bonded with Krup Voosh. Welcome, Cristobal. You're good at... I mean, we can... I teach you obedience. That is N.Solution. Is that what this actually is called? It's like some sort of robotic cow. Maybe he invented it. Oh, that's a nice idea. I like the idea that he's invented this cow and then he thought, I've got all the companionship I need. Let's head out into the world by ourselves. This map is nice. I do like this map. We've got a lot of nice rivers kicking around. We've got some good sort of defensive mountain positions. What the fuck are those? Oh, big old feralisks. Okay, I remember those from a mod that we've played in the past. We've got some rhinos. We've got this sort of direct main road coming through and intersecting the river. It's a nice little map. I genuinely do like this. We've got some, of course, we've got some geezers there too. I think we'll probably stick around this sort of centralized area by the bridge, by the mountains, just because they're, you know, fairly defensive in that regard. Welcome. Krup Voosh. This is going to be a good playthrough. I've got a really good feeling about this one. Could have said, you know, the Star Wars quote there, but I messed up. Something's awakening. So, because he's psychically sensitive, or sorry, force sensitive, I guess as he gains XP, utilize his skills and watch them grow. Yeah, I guess as he gains XP, he will, he'll power up. Oh, God, what is this? Oh, shit. Maybe this sword... Oh, no. Maybe the sword needed some sort of motor before it's usable? Have I just messed up? We may not have a fit with miniature vibro cells. Well, it still does 24.61 damage DPS. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely insane. Okay, maybe I should have gone with a weaker weapon. Why is it so powerful? We also don't have a motor in it, so maybe that's going to affect things. There's lots of different... I like the weapon customization. That's a cool little feature. Obviously, you can do that with your lightsabers pretty thoroughly in this mod. Anyway, enough rambling. Let's play some Rimworld. So I'm going to enable this to start off with the automatic rebuild. We do have the cleaning area. I thought I'd go with that before anything else because the cleaning area mod is one of my personal favorites. And we do, of course, have the split work mod there. If you notice things as we go through, feel free to ask me what it does and I will try and reply because I will definitely miss some things during this episode. Rearm is going to be irrelevant, I think. Same with refuel for now. Warden, I think that should be highest priority just simply because, oh man, do we want to handle and train this cow? I don't even know what it does. It might produce some sort of fuel, so maybe we do want to try and train it early on. Let's see what it does. It might do something special, you know, it might churn out components out of its udders. I have no idea. Butchering should be highest priority. That is obviously giving us life. Same with cooking. Brewing, irrelevant. Hunting should be tier 1, and I will try not to do too much hunting so that we are not, you know, restricted to these jobs all the time and not getting anything else done. Repair, irrelevant to start off with. Deconstruct, I will put to highest priority. You know what, I'm going to scale that down and put grow and harvest above that. Mining, I guess, should be fairly high. Plant cutting should be number 1. And we'll go ahead and blank out everything else for now, because this is not going to be relevant for probably quite some time. Okay, not too bad, I'd say. Let's get to work then, team. So, first things first, we're going to need ourselves a little bit of a structure here. Meditation pad, Sith, and Jedi. That's kind of nice. Build ourselves a little council chambers if we ever get up to that stage. We've, of course, got the allow tool, and if you notice anything else, obviously the blueprint mod there. We've got wall supports, linkable doors. We've got ourselves standard furniture by the looks of it. Production, obviously the quarry mod. We've also got fishing pier for fishing industry. I'm using fishing industry rather than, I think it was rainbows fishing. This one adds more research around fishing, so you can make it a more of a long-term thing, because the other fishing mod is sort of only good for the base game and then very much peters out when you've got like a big farm. With this one, it sort of stays relevant because you can breed fish and sort of build like custom tanks for them to make them a bit more of a decent food source. I kind of like this one as well because it adds a sort of physical structure rather than just designating a spot on the water. It's kind of nice. Oh, it's also got like a value for how much fish you can get out of it by the looks of it. Oh, it depends on the size of the body of water, I would assume. Yeah, that's a cool little feature. Look at that. I like that. 69%, of course, is a golden number, so obviously we're going to build it there. Well, why don't we start with this? Because that seems like a pretty decent idea to get us on the get-go here. Right, so furniture we've seen there. We've also got the Furniture Plus mod, naturally. We've got lots of different power mods, but we won't see those until we've done a bit of research. Linkables mod there. We do have the additional Joy Objects mod, the one without the books, just because I prefer it. Refrigerators, obviously, and then, of course, the Skylights mod. We've got a lot to see as we play through. I've added a lot of mods, as you've seen from the sort of brief preview, so this is going to be quite a lengthy playthrough, I think. I have no idea what that is, but it sounds awesome. Oh man, we got, like, of course, all these androids as well. That seems to be a big part of the research tree. Prosthetics, nuclear power, launch systems. Add some sort of, includes the Doomsday launcher. Yes, classic. Well, that was a little bit zoomed in, huh? Wow, crazy. Okay, let's get to work, team. So, first things first, my boy, you are probably going to need a house before we do absolutely anything else. But out of wood to start off with. I'm not a big fan of, I do fall into the trap in the early game of Rimworld of building everything out of wood. Furniture, I'm still happy to build out of bamboo if we can grow some in time. That's sort of my standard go-to. So let's put down a couple of farms here. So we go sort of like 8x8 with that one. Let's go for bamboo immediately. If we can grow it, we absolutely can. Thank you very much. We'll call this one bamboo. I'm actually going to start naming my areas a little bit as well, trying to get a little bit more of the micromanagement in place. So do that one temporarily, and then rice is apparently I was correct on this one. Rice is apparently the best nutrition food, but rice is obviously a lot more work. I still like corn because it's very little work, takes a long time to grow, and you get almost as much nutrition out of it. So it's better for just pure time purposes to obviously grow corn, but for now we need some food quickly, so we will go with rice. What else is worth growing in this early game? Maybe some heel root is probably not a terrible idea. Let's do 7x8 again. Let's stick down some heel root. We'll go ahead and expand that one out, and then finally we want cotton, maybe? Let's go for some cotton. We don't want to make the farms too large to start off with, otherwise it's going to be wasting a lot of time maintaining this crap. And that's not really on the agenda. Now, before we till the fields, I will build an actual structure to live in, because I feel like it's a little more important. Now, a mod I don't have turned on this time that I did have last time was obviously the ability to draw boxes with this. So instead of me drawing out to every separate wall, I used to just be able to build an entire structure. I actually kind of found that was more of a pain in the ass to use than just doing it this method. So I'm going back to the old-fashioned Rimworld room drawing. Let's put I guess a door here. It doesn't really matter too much, but this one's going to open up into the fields and obviously the fishing pier too. Right, that's cool. Let's get ourselves some furniture in place. We'll go immediately with a double bed. We'll go for... I want to make the bedroom as comfortable as possible to start off with. Do I want to make for a little bit of bamboo to grow? No, I think we just want to get a bedroom down. So I'm going to make the bedroom as comfortable as possible because it's just very easy, simple mood, isn't it? Like just a very easy little buff there. So we'll put down as much furniture as we can that will affect the bed. It's basically everything. We could build an end table with a lamp. I believe we can put that there and it will still affect the bed. So we will do that. And then that will do, I guess. We could... Oh, I forget that you have to make indoor stockpiles for everything now, don't you? Otherwise, it just deteriorates. We'll do something a little bit like this, too, for a... you know, I might as well expand that all the way around. Why the hell not? For a stockpile zone. So we'll sort of open that up there. We'll put a door in, and then we can also do a little bit of a... I don't know, like a kitchen freezer area towards this end. So I might go ahead and just expand this out a little bit for food storage. There we go. We'll put a little door in there and a little door in there so they can access that. Butcher table. And then, of course, we'll have like a small dining table. And then the rest of it can be used for storage. In fact, I might even expand it out a little bit more later on. But for now, I would do something like that just as planning. But I will go ahead and forbid that temporarily. Let's go and forbid. We've got much bigger fish to fry. I don't want to plan out too much. Obviously, you waste a lot of time, you know, building a lot of half rooms rather than getting a single room done. I'd rather get the bedroom done before anything else here. So I'm going to go ahead and forbid everything and then unforbid it as we finish one room. Just a little bit more micromanagement than I normally do, but I want this to go well. And I like Krup Voosh, whatever the hell his name was. I think he's got a lot of potential. You might notice I'm also not running the Speed 4 mod. As much as I love it, I know a lot of people find it difficult to watch, and I think a lot of things can get out of hand. We do have some, obviously a lot of different combat mods. I've got dual wield. I don't have combat extended because I wasn't unsure about the compatibility between that and a lot of the other mods, particularly the Star Wars mod. So as the Star Wars mod is the main focus, I'm not playing with combat extended this time around. I would love to test that mod out at some point. Next series, whatever I do with it, that will definitely feature combat extended. I'm going to go ahead and forbid this one to start with and forbid this one. Let's actually get some food down before anything else. Krup, thank you, my friend. And then when we've got the bedrooms built, or at least when we've got the bedroom built, I should say, and we won't worry about those, but we will actually till the soil beneath the rice. Do we just want to do that now? Because food is pretty much our top priority in this early game, along with obviously power too. I'm going to go for a wood fire generator to start off with, because we do have a decent amount of trees kicking around here. So let's go ahead and just get... I don't know, we could always put it in the bedroom. I believe they affect beauty though, don't they? Is there any way to tell? We can go for the information. Yes, beauty minus 20. I was almost certain that was the case. Why don't we put it... Why don't we put it there? That's absolutely fine. Sort of central to the base as well. This base is a temporary thing. I imagine we're going to completely tear it down and build a whole new Sith criminal enterprise, whatever the hell we want to do with it, out of something a bit more permanent. Oh, look, he's doing a little bit of fishing as recreation there, which is obviously good because it does fill that in. Sea snake, dead. I like this one because it's got like lots of different fish rather than just having like small fish. Obviously the other one had sturgeons and salmon and things. This one has a lot more variation. Okay, so let's get that bed built, my dude. Maybe before literally anything else. That would be good. Force. There we go. Oh man, that's a weird little icon. You see that? What happens if I do that? Oh, why is that shaking around? I've absolutely no... Oh? Does that show what he's building right now? What is that? Any idea? If anybody knows what that is, what that's supposed to signify, you guys let me know. I don't know why I did that one when I'm pretty sure I clicked force on the other things, but hey, never mind. So we'll get more wood as we obviously cut down these fields. What I'm going to do is also designate this to be a build roof area as well. And we'll build that as we go. Right, nice. Let's get his actual schedule set up next then. So we'll go, during this early game, I quite like doing a lot of work. He's got that early game buff where he gets the very low expectations. Obviously, he's sanguine as well. Mental break risk is very, very low down there. It's 35% minor break threshold, and he's going to be long above that, like way above that. He slept outside in the cold, and he's at 78%, you know. So, for now, I think this is fine. I think this is alright. So we can probably force him to work a little bit more stringently. We'll throw in some recreation in a couple of days' time there. That's the reason I put down roofs, by the way, so that I don't think I ever finished my train of thought. The reason I put down roofs is because we want to put down roofs here anyway, and plus it'll actually automatically cut down any trees that we want to be cut down. Nice, okay, this is good. Does it actually count as indoors now? It's going to count as unroofed, surely. Oh, it actually doesn't have a wall there. Genius. They changed everything. So you used to be able to just put a roof, like let's say, for example, just as a little test. I'm not actually going to do this. You used to be able to do something like that and throw a roof over the top, and that would count as that would be a safe place to store things. But recently they've changed it so it has to have like 4 walls, essentially, for it to count as an indoor stockpile or an indoor room. So, a little bit annoying. It's kind of hard to break that habit, even though I've played, you know, quite a fair amount of Rimworld since, obviously, I last played it a sort of serious amount. I could never sort of get that out of my head. This, to me, looks like a safe room, but obviously it's not. Nice, so the rice is planted and tilled as well. That's going to be a great start, because that's not going to take much time to grow there. 95% growth rate, 200%, so that's very good. Tilled soil, a little bit OP, but, I mean, I kind of like the little bit of extra work. If it took a little bit more work, I think it could be a little more balanced. What was that? Ah, chunks of spacecraft. So this is one of the mods I've added. It essentially, I think I've discussed this before in previous series, but for those of you who haven't seen those, this is a mod that essentially allows different types of ship chunks to fall, and then you can deconstruct them based and get resources based on the color. Essentially, it's supposed to represent them being built of different resources. So I think if you deconstruct this one, we get gold. If we deconstruct this one, we get uranium, for example. It's a nice little way to get a bit of, you know, variation in your resource gathering. Right, so what we want to do now is probably just go ahead and chop down all wood in the immediate vicinity, because obviously we've got wood-fired generators, so we can't really have too much. And, you know, we need to build the goddamn base before tonight, preferably. So, whenever you're ready, my friend. We could do plant cut, I guess, below construction. Although we would do literally everything else first. Although I guess if he has, I guess if he was idle outside of that, it won't matter too much. There we go. That's looking a little bit better. Oh, come on. We need, like... Oh, there we go. No, that counts as indoors because of the mountain. Thank you, mountain. Nice. A little bedroom there. It's not fantastic, but it will do. So what I want to do is start on the next room here. So I'm going to go ahead and unforbid all of this one next. Krup, I have great things for you. Look at this. We're also halfway to being able to unlock our force powers. So for those of you who watched last series, it's very, very similar to Rim and Magic in the sense that you level up, you gain XP as you do certain things. I think it's as you use force powers once you have awakened it. But you actually get to put skills into, you know, different force powers. I would honestly say, for those of you who played KOTOR, or for those of you who have played Jedi Academy, the force systems from that, where you obviously rank up from, you know, a little bit of lightning to bigger lightning, or, you know, a little bit of lightsaber handling to much better lightsaber handling, that's your typical... It's not really a skill tree, more of lots of different skill progressions. I think it's probably the best way to sum it. Anyway, you'll see it in no time at all. Oh shit, he actually managed to tame it. 100% chance. That's weird, seeing as he has an animal skill of 2. Seeing as he has an animal skills of 2. Maybe the robots are just more likely to be tamed. Maybe they're supposed to start tamed. It's probably added by the androids mod in hindsight, and they're supposed to start tamed, but obviously where we've... Oh, they have milk. Oh, that's incredible. That's really, really good to see that they've got... Wait, no, what? Nutrient solution? High in calories and easy to store. Ah, that's cool. That's a nice little story. I like the idea of this dude. Maybe... Here's my story for Krup Voosh. An inventor, sick of his life, sick of his job, could feel something pulling towards him, which is obviously the Force, because everything bloody Star Wars is pulled by the Force. You know, feels this urge to go out and start a life of his own on a planet led by the Force. Thinks to himself, I'm going to use my inventor skills to make my life on this planet easier. Invents himself a cow, a robot cow, more to the point, that can synthesize nutrients, maybe out of just grass and sunlight. I don't really have a good explanation for how the hell that works. But hey, I think that's a nice little backstory. Our inventor turned... I suppose, what's the word? Manifest destiny? That's a good idea for Krup Voosh. Anyway, if you got a better story for Krup Voosh, feel free to let me know, because that's pretty weak sauce, I think. I'm just trying to justify this cow being pretty OP, is essentially what I think is happening here. Krup Voosh needs some more jobs, my friend. He's actually building the base incredibly quickly, considering he has crappy, good one. Crappy building stats. Anyway, we'll do that one. There we go. This is going to be our freezer. So this one I probably should have done first. Visitors arrived. We have no guest beds, so I'm going to refuse visitors until I have guest beds. Now, to my knowledge, this used to be part of the mod. Again, when I played it probably like a year ago or 2 years ago, however long it's been out. The Imperials used to turn up to your base and basically demand tax because you're on an Imperial control planet, or at least a planet they can't claim control over. So they will ask for taxes. If you refuse to pay it, then they will attack your base, or we can say, you know, sure, we'll pay it, and then they'll become a bit more amicable to you. Not allied with you, but at least they won't, you know, immediately blow you up. Why did I build this wall if I was just going to expand it anyway? Good question, Brain. I'm not entirely sure. I think that is a good episode for Krup. What's his name? Krup Voosh? I'm never gonna... I keep thinking Top Bog Spot. That friggin' name is never gonna leave my head. Krup Voosh. Great start. Next episode, I think... I get a sneaking suspicion, just based on how we've gone for this episode, we may unlock the Force, and we'll be able to begin our journey into Forcedom. One thing I kind of like about this, raids we're going to have to really prioritize, because if we get people who are Force-sensitive turn up, you know, it's going to be like Rim of Magic, except you can't, you know, use a magic gem on people to make them Force-sensitive. Well, unless you've played Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, at which point you can. That's not the point. Unlike Rim of Magic, we can't force people to be Force-sensitive, so we're going to have to be very careful about our raids, more so than I was in that series as well. Maybe I need, like, a Tranquilizer gun mod. In hindsight, might go and install that, because I feel like that'd be appropriate. And I know, as our guy's an inventor, you know, I feel like he'd have the skills and the talents to build that. But anyway, I hope you guys all enjoy this idea. Hope you guys like Star Wars, because by God, we've got a lot of it to come. And I hope you guys like this series. Now, for those of you who are interested in the actual mod build, I will go through that now. And I'll also provide below a download link to the mod manager file, I think it is. It's just a text document, I think, but the mod manager file that you can import into your game, and it will automatically order all of your mods for you. So let's go ahead and got some nonsense here. I don't know why that's called that one. That's probably just me mashing the keyboard. Do not pay any attention to the man behind the curtain. Right, saved as new arrivals. Let's go back to the main menu then, and I will show you guys what we've got going on here. So this is the full list. Consider this a spoiler for those of you who would like to see it naturally occur during the series rather than me go through the entire list now, but I am going to be doing that. So, again, if you don't want to spoil it for yourself and have no interest in the mod list, now's the time to turn off. This is what we've got going on. I'm not going to go through every single mod, but I will very quickly flick through and sort of point out some maybe new ones to the series. For example, Snap Out, which allows you to try and calm down somebody who's having a mental breakdown. Low chance of success, but obviously you will just snap them out of it, so it's kind of valuable. We've got, obviously, Star Wars. This is the main crux of the mod pack. We've got the Force. We've got lightsabers, factions. This is actually a one that came out relatively recently that adds Rodians and Wookiees. I believe there was already a Twi'lek mod out there. This one also adds Twi'lek, so I'm not using the other one. But this is kind of nice for fleshing out your Star Wars universe. We've got the animal collection. So we've got there. Let me see if I can name some of them. We've got the Acklay, the Rancor. We've got Bantha. We have Tauntaun as well. I believe there are also Wampa and other things. Is that one of those goddamn things from KOTOR? I don't remember the name. It doesn't matter too much. Lots of different Star Wars animals, which hopefully we'll see during this. Zabrak, as I said, Iridonians, Darth Maul's race. Realistic planets we've seen before. And then, you know, androids. This is one thing that was recommended to me a long time ago, and actually I do like this idea for Star Wars, because Star Wars obviously has lots of androids, C-3PO being one of the, you know, obvious main characters there. Alpha animals we've seen, neutral opids, lots of different animal mods down here in the center. Dual wield is going to be interesting if it works with the lightsabers, because obviously, as we've seen in Star Wars, they do dual wield lightsabers quite frequently, or at least they do in the expanded universe. Giddy up, not using Giddy Up Ride and Roll, which is the one where they would just randomly get on animals to ride across the base, because I thought A, it didn't really fit the theme of things, B, I just want to use them in battle, which is what we've seen happen in Star Wars during, you know, the Phantom Menace. That's my sort of reasoning for that one. Missed Robots, just the standard one. No Omnibots this time around, because those things are friggin' OP. Anyway, we won't go through the whole thing, like I said, but those are some of the important ones. And this is the generic load orders. So for those of you who want to set this up exactly as I've got it, simply download the file I've got below, put it into the folder, which I will also write the folder path on the description. Unfortunately, I can't show it you on my PC because it's going to be different for everybody, more or less. But it is in your, if for those of you who may know your, I don't know, computer architecture, it's in your local folder. It's local Ludeon Studios Rimworld mods, I believe, or mod lists, one or the other. So it's this one. Click the save button, and then from there you should see what I'm going to call right now. So let's save this current list as Star Wars. You should see Star Wars. There it is. Click that button. It will automatically match your mod order to my mod order as it appears on screen right now. If you have any suggestions for the mod order, by the way, things that need moving around, I did it to, you know, what I think is the best of my abilities. But I don't know much about Rimworld mod order, so if you know it better, let me know. Simply press this button, press the Star Wars. The full installation guide is below. Again, I can't really do it mid-video, but I've done it before in other videos as well, so feel free to go and look up, you know, Bro1D2 Games, Rimworld mod install guide or whatever. I'll put a link to the video as well. It's very straightforward, though, and you'll be able to match this. Fingers crossed, that's enough of a description. I don't want to get into it every series, but, you know, that should be all you need to do. As long as you've got the mod manager enabled, make sure you enable the mod manager mod, and then this button, Star Wars, that's all you need to do, assuming you've installed that text document into the right place. It will also throw up an issue saying that cleaning area is out of date. Ignore it. It doesn't matter. Cleaning area still works absolutely fine. The mod maker, it's kind of annoying, but the mod maker did say, like, look, it works fine. I'm not going to bother updating it because it's a waste of time because it works perfectly. Fair enough. A little bit annoying, obviously, that it prompts you every single time that's the wrong value, but it doesn't matter too much. It's up to those guys at the end of the day. And honestly, I think it's an essential mod. So I guess they can afford to be a bit more abrasive with it. Let's give a shout out to all of the insane top tier level patrons for making this series possible in the first place. Hopefully you guys enjoy yourself some Star Wars, and hopefully it makes up for KOTOR sort of coming to an end abruptly on the second channel. So a big shout out to Zachary Harris, Tariq, Sean Thornton, Haydog Sidini, Tim Bragg, Loris, Michael Mullen, Croesus, Vacuous Bacchus, Josh Lindean, Tesla, Tyler Birch, Jacob Alexander Fenton, Powers Presler, Suna Kirito, Logan Thorne, Conspiracy, Jimbo, Orcswolf, Facundo Vasquez, Tom Terry, Teen Escape, Average Gamer Fauna, and Jackson Whitman. Thank you. Thank you for... Thank you all for your support. It's going for a fall, like a portmanteau of that, for all your support on Patreon. Don't worry if your name's on this list and you've since cancelled your Patreon, and don't worry if your name is yet to be on this list. Basically, the way that Patreon does it is they release lists every month of the current active patrons. So, and you know, it's kind of fair to people, I think, if they patronize that they get the whole month. I don't think I've ever explained that before, but I generally, if you patronize on the 1st of February and you cancel your Patreon on the 15th of February, you still get it through to the end of February, because as far as I'm concerned, you've supported the channel for that month and made it possible. So, you guys get it for the whole month. And a big shout as well to my other fellow patrons: Nathaniel Lemberg, Brandon Mintoniak, Euphrates, Jack Allen, Betimus Max, Panther Pearl, Gabriel Van Der, Llewellyn Thomas, Nathan Flores, Johan De Vries, Haji Demar, Alpha Scuff, Kevin Sanders, Dunk207, Seth McDougall, Joseph Beard, Jordan Campbell, Harry McGowan, Chris Hancock, Sir Thor the Swede, Asero Nick, Will Wade, No Gallimore, Fraser Brennan, the Insane Pickle Adam person, and Icy the Great. I'm off to get myself some Icy the Great glass of water. Thank you for your support.